Hey, what's up, hunters? I'm actually here trying to make a guide for a how to use bow kind of guide against certain monsters, not really on how to do basics, since there's a lot of videos about the basics of bow. Now, I'm actually going to show how to beat a certain elder dragon with bow and how you should be approaching that fight with bow. Now, any of these any of this that I do with bow can actually be repeated with any of the weapons that you normally use as your main. Everything is pretty much practice and repetition, and that's where I'm gonna get to. Practice and repetition is where you pretty much strive and be better at this game. Now, let's start with the build. The build that I'm using, I'm not running Mighty Bow because I know not a lot of people have access to Mighty Bow or Crit Boost or both spread shot or normal shot. It's either one or the other. Now I'm running spread shot because I prefer spread shot more than normal shot. Now this particular build I'm running has 5 Constitution, 3 Attack, 3 Thunder, 3 Weakness Exploit, 1 Spread Shot, and 1 Crit Boost. Now Tobagachi's bow is one of those bows that you don't need 3 bow jewels. You could run it because you're going to get that 1 extra attack, which a lot of people don't care for. If you were to run the 1 extra attack instead of the 1 extra bolt jewel, you will get 5 infinity plus whatever you get in attack. So in this particular build, you will have 30 instead of 25. Now, I'm not running 2 attack because not a lot of people have access to 2 attack jewels. Most people only have 1 attack jewel. Now, the difference from having 2 bolt jewels to 3 bolt jewels is only 20 points. You go from 330 to 350. Now, I'm also running the Affinity Booster. You can get this from doing the Tingle and Taste quest line and the Evasion Mantle, which is a little bit harder to get because you will have to get to level HR 30 or higher and complete 5 different Threat 2 tempered monsters. Now that we got that out of the way, let's actually grab some food buffs. I'm actually going to use just the large attack boost buff. I don't really pay attention to the buff itself. I just grab whatever's there as long as it's the large attack buff. Now, when you do these fights, you can actually do all these fights on optionals. Now, these optionals are actually perfect for practicing, which is what I normally do when I'm trying out a new weapon or new build for that matter, or if I'm just trying to understand the monster itself. Now, we're not going to be using Mighty Bow, Crit Boost, or Normal Shot, but we are still going to attempt to get it under 5 minutes. Another thing, since you can fight all these elders here, if you were to get to level 100 or even be close to unlocking all those missions, you can also fight these monsters over here if you wanted to ever practice like a particular build against 3 elders. It would be this one right here. Or if you wanted to fight 2 Rathalos and see how well you would do against 2 different monsters that were tempered. Now, doing them regular would be perfectly fine as well. Just tempered is a little bit more of a stress test. So now we're actually gonna go into the fight itself and stop getting sidetracked. You can always do these in regular investigations if you like. Now, the reason why I say optionals is because if you join someone's SOS and you're the one to cart, and it's because you're trying to start a new build or a new weapon and you want to test it out, I mean, doing it on someone else's quest is kind of a douchey move. So think of how you would like to be treated if you were to put up that quest. So I'm only going to be running the Might Seed and Demon Powder for these fights, just to see how well we'll do, instead of just running Mega Demon Drug and stuff. Now, always have everything ready, like flash pods and stuff. So let's start this fight. Always be patient with Kushala. Every time you knock him out with bow, go for the tail. Don't worry about the face. You can always knock him out over and over again. Always go for the tail. The tail is going to give you the most damage from the rest of his body. And if you ever wait for his roar and be patient, you'll pretty much catch him and knock him out. Here we go. Now, whenever you fight Kushala, always watch out for his wind gust, or if he goes up in the air with the tornado. That's the whole point of having these flash pods. Now right there I messed up because instead of waiting, I went for the spread. Now let's try and see if he actually walks away from that. There we go. You always want to get him away from his tornado. As long as you get him away from the tornado, you and your team can do max damage, since everyone will be able to participate in the fight. If you keep him in the tornado, only the people with the ranged weapons will be able to participate in that fight. Now, Kushala's is one of the easier Elder Dragons to fight, because he does have an X amount of damage that he can take to the face before he gets knocked out. Every time he gets knocked out, it's one step closer to the fight ending. Now, I hate when Kushala catches you off guard like that. It's pretty cheap since he can just catch you without you even noticing. Now, always replace your coatings once you run out. You don't want to get doing minimum damage when you can just be doing maximum damage. Now, like I said before, you don't have to go for the face unless you're using a melee weapon. You don't really need to go for the face. Now that we're gonna end the fight, we're just gonna get this flash ready and you keep going for the tail to end this fight. There we go. Now, I'm not sure if that was under 3 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was under 4. But again, this is the build that we're using. We're not really using Mighty Bow. If we were to get Mighty Bow, you could of course cut that time even faster. Now, it was 3 minutes and 30 seconds, which is not a bad time. Doing a bunch of these, once you get better with the bow, and let's say if you were to run a bunch of investigations with gold on them, you would actually get a bunch of these done in no time. Now, if you guys found this helpful, just leave a like, comment, share, whatever you want. Also, if you guys want to see more of these, just let me know. I'll be willing to do any monster with bow. Now, with certain weapons, like if I was to use the lance or shield and sword, I would prefer to just use the bow until I get better with those weapons and I understand it more. I'm not the best with every weapon in the game. I do learn like everybody else. But again guys, if you found this helpful, I will catch you guys later, and just peace. Have a great night, guys.